Yeah.
I just wanted to do some extra.
Majesty.
So much majesty.
In your compassionate clapping. Malchut. So, we're at the end of week 3, where we look at Malchut of Tiferet. Yes. Malchut, again, is like dignity and majesty, and I think it gets translated as kingdom, too, sometimes.
Yes.
So, just all of these things, the idea of the other 6 that we've looked at this week in one, that you need all of them together for a complete compassion or mature compassion. For compassion to be complete, it must recognize and appreciate individual sovereignty. It should boost self-esteem and cultivate human dignity, both your own dignity and the dignity of the one benefiting from your compassion.
Yes.
This is something that I have learned in a Musar class. Going back to the receiving idea, you do need to know that this person can receive the thing and not be humiliated by it, or even the opposite, like not know what to do with it. Like pearls before swine kind of stuff, where it's like, what if you gave your kid a fancy car? Well, the kid can't even drive yet or something, so what's the point of giving that to them? They can't even really appreciate it, and they're probably gonna mess it up or something if they just go play games in the car.
Yeah. To give compassionately is the whole like teach a man to fish kind of situation versus give a man a fish. The idea that what you're doing contributes to their ability to be their own sovereign, to make their own choices, to do what is best for them, that matters for what they want. So one of the things that you learn when you're talking about caregiving for elderly people is maintaining their dignity. So if you look at somebody and think, oh, I should wash their hair, they would like me to wash their hair, and you start washing their hair without asking them, that's not okay, right? Or I start braiding it in the way that I think looks pretty, without letting them make the choice. That's not real compassion, right? That makes them feel subhuman. Real compassion is, hey, do you want to do something? What are you thinking of? How can I make that happen for you? Yeah,
like I would say if they were nonverbal somehow with whatever,
there's still plenty ways to communicate with
there's got a way if you to get to know them and to be like, okay, I'm gonna braid your hair today, let me know if I shouldn't, and somehow, like however they can, something like that. There's always got to be some way. Or maybe you just continue to narrate your actions, and one day they learn to communicate by blinking or something that, okay, no, I want my hair pigtails or something like that.
One of my favorite stories ever is I worked with this incredible student who was nonverbal. And she had like systems of how she like spoke and communicated. And she was whip smart, like ridiculously intelligent, so much faster at absolutely everything than anybody else around her. But she was nonverbal. And so one of the things that like she really taught me is I would think that I was being helpful by like asking her questions like in like open-ended form, and she would look at me like, I can't answer you, so you're not being helpful. And I'd be like, oh, you're so right, did you want A or B? And she would be able to tell me that, because she would tell me either A or B by like hitting my hands. And that for me was one of those moments of like, wow, Hayley, you think you're so smart, this kid is 80 times smarter than you, and just because she deals with something different than you deal with, you thought you could do something for her, when in reality she was doing for you the whole time.
Yeah, that's really
she's
cool.
She's a great kid.
I really
love her.
That. So like the dignity of both of you.
Yeah.
Is my compassion expressed in a dignified manner? Do I manifest and emphasize majesty in my compassion? Do I elicit dignity in others? I don't think it's something that people. It's not like that's the first thing that I'm thinking of when I do anything for anyone.
Yeah.
That I'm making sure of my own dignity. I mean, I guess, like, I'm not... there was, like, it's one of those forums where people on Reddit talked about ableism. Yeah. And this one person, like, said they were in a bathroom, they were already in the stall, and, like, some person crawled underneath the stall to ask if they needed help.
No.
And it's like, that's the dumbest thing ever.
That's the opposite of ensuring dignity of a person.
Yeah, and you look really dumb, too. Now so it's like, you're not only, like, going beneath yourself, but you're like totally humiliating the person you're trying to help.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's an example of how to not have dignity in your compassion. Like it was just like the weirdest thing I ever read. But so I don't think that I like go, because in a way it would be like going far out of my own integrity way to like do something for someone if I was to do it without dignity. So no, I don't think I do that. I don't like debase myself just to show compassion to someone else.
Yeah. I know plenty of people who do. I know plenty of people who do, but no, I'm not one of those people.
And then as far as thinking of the other's dignity, there was one time, because I worked at an ice cream restaurant, and so it's like, I never liked it when the parents let the kids order for themselves, because then it would always be this way, where the kid would order a bunch of things, and suddenly the parent would be like, no, only 2 things. And it's like the parent was never paying attention, so I was always nervous when a kid would start ordering for them, and the parent just like stood back on their phone, because I'm always expecting the parent to jump in. But so like this one time I was serving a kid and he was continuing to say things and the dad never said anything. And then at the end, he gave me a really big tip because he was appreciative how I treated his son like an adult, essentially, even though there's like an 8-year-old. And like the whole time I was like waiting for the dad to be like, no, that's too much sugar. Like, that's too many things, too many toppings. But he never did. And so I guess it was a special day because he let the kid have what he wanted. And he gave me like a big tip. So
it's great.
Like, that's like such an important thing. Like, I remember so much like being a kid and I hated being treated like a kid. And so it's like it's really important to me to treat kids like little adults, and you can talk to them and you can reason with them and stuff. And so like there's one way to show dignity or allow another to have their dignity, especially with kids. And just ask them questions and don't talk down. You're an 8-year-old? Oh, I'm going to talk to you like you're 4. Or something. Even like 4-year-olds, I still sort of talk to them like a normal person.
You treat them like people.
Like, I know there's some research to show that the higher voice thing is helpful for babies, but
yeah,
like,
when they're really little.
Yeah, but like after that,
as they get older, I mean, I have vivid memories of being like 4 and 5 years old, which is maybe weird, but I have vivid memories of being like 4 and 5 years old and adults talking to me in a really high-pitched voice and talking down to me, and me looking at my mom like, can you please tell them to treat me like a person? So, I don't know. I'm a big believer in talk to kids like adults, because then they're going to talk like adults.
One of my friends was like at a play date thing with her kids and some other kids from the school, where like her son said something like a big word, like, I don't know, like prodigious or something like that. And the other child's mom was like, we don't say 3-syllable words in this house. And it's like, what a dumb thing.
We don't say 3-syllable words in this house.
Why? What's wrong with that? It was like a normal word, not a bad word, but the fact that it's such a big word for like a 5-year-old to say, it was just like so dumb.
Very silly. Very silly times.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's the easiest way to answer this, is especially thinking of kids and just treating people like another human.
Yeah.
And actually listening for, like, their answer and stuff. Do I recognize the fact that when I experience compassion as dignified, it will reflect reciprocally in the one who receives compassion?
Yeah. If my giving compassion is dignity, then they receive it as dignity.
Yeah, and hopefully they don't think that you're looking down on them. That would be like more of their own therapy work, though, to do, if they do receive it that way. When you are just being a normal person to them and being perfectly dignified and treating them with dignity, and if they were to be like, how dare you look down on me, then that's on them. I think, because you did your best at that point.
Right. As long as you're doing it right, then it should be received right. But... yeah,
that's true. But if it wasn't, maybe it's not always your fault.
Yeah.
Exercise for the day. Rather than just giving them charity, help themselves in a fashion that strengthens their dignity. So, like, again, teaching a man to fish.
Yeah.
Help themselves.
So, for example, if you choose to order something for somebody, to pay it forward for somebody, ask them, hey, I'm paying it forward today. What would you like me to purchase for you? What would you like me to do for you?
I always, when people come into the office that I work at, like random people, if they like need to copy something, I always show them the copier.
Yeah.
And attempt to teach them the copier. And so sometimes it's super annoying when people will be like, no, I don't want to learn. I'm 89 and I don't need to learn this or whatever. I hate those people that don't want to learn anymore. Or like on the phone, if people call and I try to walk them through some process for signing up on a form, and I'm like, this is how we're going to do this. And they'll be like, no, can you please just do it for me? Like, I'm 80. It's always like, I'm 86 and I can't learn the internet. It's like, okay, I'm sorry. I was going to help you, but if you're gonna be like that, then I guess I have to abide by your wishes.
Yeah.
Like, give them their dignity in that.
But, yeah,
but like,
no, for them, that is their dignity. Like, I've earned the right to not have to learn how to do something like that.
Yeah, it's really annoying, but like...
It can be frustrating for us, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so people help themselves somehow.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're willing to accept it.
People help themselves.
And we finished week 3.
Woo!
Yay!
Tiferet!
So we start on Nesach next week.
Oh, that's going to be
all
good.
endurance. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.